Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And today we're going to talk about another beauty from the House of Azman Perfumes, I Am Darkness, a chypre floral fragrance that was launched in 2022. And the nose behind this scent is Nutves Hazartar, an incense fragrance that artfully encapsulates the interplay between gothic darkness and spiritual light. Darkness represents the interplay of light and darkness in a very artful way that displays the power and influence of incense note that has been pushed beyond its boundaries. The potent embrace of profound frankincense is enhanced by the graceful presence of floral panache, all resting upon foundation of oak moss and ambergris. Initially, when I sprayed the enigmatic Darkness, questions arose within me. Why darkness for a fragrance that seems so luminous? It soon became apparent that this fragrance was more than a mere composition of scents. It was an expression of emotions, a reflection of our inner shadows and our aspirations to become something more. On this journey, a promise of change emerged when we accepted ourselves. It became a fragrance of serenity, nature's hug, lush woods, mountaintop solitude, and a wisdom of a sage's smile. I'm Darkness is built upon a foundation of fruity floral chypre with a focus on the complex interplay of bittersweet citruses and the deep greens of the forest, which is the moss. The presence of incense weaves a soothing, balmy undertone throughout. While the oud note remains subtle, it harmonizes with the overall warmth of the fragrance, casting hues of yellowish green across its spectrum. Let's spray some of this and see what we get. This one, initially when I sprayed it, I fell in love with this. It was just love at the first sniff. Just a beauty. It's so aromatic. It's so beautifully composed. The incense note, it's been pushed beyond its boundaries, as I mentioned earlier. Even though it's a very artistic kind of a scent, but it's so wearable. It's so likable. It's so addictive. I love this. Very beautiful. Yes. God, every time I spray this, it just gives me so much goosebumps. It's unbelievable because it's such a beautiful scent. So Darkness opens up with a burst of bergamot and grapefruit, so it does have a zesty, fresh, citrusy, and fruity opening. So it is woody, citrusy, fresh, spicy, fruity, and aromatic on the opening. Yeah, I can definitely smell the fir in here, so you're definitely welcome with this sweet balsamic, aromatic, green, spicy facet from fir, and a hot bracing and earthy, spicy, short-lived, bright accent top note from black pepper. So you do get a little bit of kick of spiciness in here as well, but again, it's so well balanced, it's so well tamed and controlled. The spicy kick of pepper and the bittersweet hint of oud that appear early on give this incense a very unique character. Now, the oud is very mild in here, which is Cambodian oud, and it just complements on the opening that beautiful, spicy black pepper very nicely. Yeah, what I love about it that it's not too heavy or overpowering. Despite its haunting darkness, it surprisingly feels light and uplifting, with a warm, comforting softness. The incense smells like a resinous, woody, and slightly spicy fragrance with aromatic piney green opening and smoky hard and dry down undertones. Now, what I do mean with that, I don't know if you guys got what I said regarding the incense. So initially, when you spray it, the incense has its own life cycle alongside the other notes. So the incense opens up kind of green, piney, very calming, very aromatic, and then slowly it turns into this resinous, woody, and smoky kind of an incense as the fragrance gets to its heart and the dry down. So what I'm trying to say is that the incense has literally its own top note, heart note and base note throughout the life cycle of Darkness. And that can definitely evoke a sense of spirituality and tranquility. Now, in the heart, there's a beautiful amber body that creates a sweet and resinous accord, which becomes warm, spicy, and balsamic. Frangipani, which is used in here, creates this tropical fruity note that prolongs the citrusy nuances of the top notes. So what I'm trying to say that it doesn't really create a tropical note as much, or if it does, the tropical aspect of it is very aromatic and forest-like, and I don't know if that would make sense for a tropical accord because you would automatically think of sweet fragrances, fruity, sweet, exotic, tropical fragrances, and that's not what you get here. So the Frangipani, I think it actually works more on the citrusy nuances of this scent. It kind of accentuates that to help the oak moss become even more aromatic as it is. You also have Champaka and Kananga in here, very exotic notes, which when they're combined in perfumery create a rich and exotic floral scent. So as we get to the heart of this fragrance, the fruitiness kind of shifts back and the floral accords, they start to kind of come in. And Champaka adds a sweet, creamy, and slightly fruity aroma with hints of green and tea-like notes, which again complements the oak moss and base really nicely. Kananga, on the other hand, contributes a sweet and floral fragrance with pronounced ylang-ylang characteristics, including creamy, banana-like, and slightly spicy undertones. Together, they form a lush tropical floral bouquet with a harmonious balance of sweetness and depth. So what Kananga and Champaka are doing here together is that Champaka is creating that seamless transition from fruitiness to floral accord and kind of introduces a little bit of the floral accord, and then Kananga amplifies that with its ylang-ylang characteristics, which has that creamy, banana-like, slightly spicy undertones. All right, so let's talk about the Cambodian oud, which only a little of it is used in here and does not have any funkiness to it whatsoever. In fact, Cambodian oud has a rich woody scent with earthy and sweet undertones, often described as deep and complex, which in fact, it complements the rich, warm, and slightly bitter coffee note very nicely. Now let's talk about the other star of this show, which is the oak moss. Now the oak moss in the base has a earthy, rich, and slightly woody aroma. It also carries subtle undertones of damp forest floors and green moss. It's often used in chypre and fougere fragrances, adding depth and complexity. Now, the other note in the base that complements the oak moss really nicely is the amyris, which has a warm, creamy, and slightly sweet scent to it. It's sometimes referred to as West Indian sandalwood, believe it or not. And I believe it's due to a similar but milder resemblance to true sandalwood. Amyris is used to impart a smooth, woody, and balsamic character to the fragrance. Now, as we get to the base of Darkness, it becomes somewhat leathery. That resinous accord or facet I was talking about, it becomes more pronounced, just very addictive. And it becomes also a little bit smoky as well, which is from the dry down of that incense note that we were talking about. Now, what is adding to the leathery touch and resinous facet of the amber is the labdanum. The labdanum, which is a resin, creates a warm, sweet, and slightly leathery facet in the base of Darkness. It creates the amber body of the scent and also gives depth and richness. All in all, what you get with I'm Darkness, it is a chypre floral, or I should say more of a chypre fruity floral incense with the focal point of frankincense. The idea was to create incense effect from Chiang Mai temples in Thailand and not church incense. The perfumer is Thai, so the inspirations are from Thailand. He used both Frangipani and white champaka with tiny bit of Cambodian oud. So again, I'm Darkness is very incensey, woody, citrusy, fresh, spicy, aromatic, ambery fragrance, which becomes warm, spicy, balsamic, floral, with some smoky facets in the dry down, which has some leathery tones to it as well. Alrighty guys, so that's all I have for I'm Darkness. Again, it is a very long-lasting fragrance. Maybe not as strong and potent as Majnun, but it is a very long-lasting fragrance for being a very aromatic type of a scent because it does have a darkness to it as well. Again, the perfect fragrance to display the light and darkness in such a well composed structure. With the usage of the incense note, which it has been pushed to its boundaries. And then, of course, with the oak moss to create this very unique chypre kind of an incense fragrance that has floral and fruity facets to it. So again, if this sounds like something you guys are interested in, I would definitely suggest you guys to get a sample and test drive this because it is a true beauty, at least for me. And with that being said, we get to the end of my video. That's all I have. Thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye.